All right. All right. What's up? It is. It is. Let's see what we got. Let's do it. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. Almost a decade. Yeah, almost a decade, actually. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep. 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 No. Not today, anyways. Dude, I like it a lot. Yeah, it's really, really cool. Well, it looks like you're blocking my punch, kind of, but it's like whatever, man. My own, I'm about 6'1", 6'1". Last time I checked. Where are you, 6'5"? Yeah, dude. It's so funny because now that we're talking about it, like that's one of Ben Affleck was taller than Henry Cavill, and they wanted it that way because they said that he wanted Superman to look up to Batman. Fuckers. Sorry. Yep. Superman is tall, and I mean, Batman. Don't get me wrong. Batman is tall, but Superman is taller. He's your height. Scott Salesman, let's try to fix that, my boy. Now, let me tell you, do you hear me or do you hear Professor Bill's sexy voice? Which one do you hear? Tell us in the comments so we can know. I'm going to do some testing of my own. Let's see. Sorry if you hear any feedback from the echo.
How about now?
I'm going to do some testing of my own. Let's see. Testing, testing.
How about now? Does anybody hear me now? Do you hear me
Testing.
now?
Testing, testing. Sorry if you hear any feedback from the echo.
Oh, that is really in the background.
How about now? I'm going to do some testing of my own. Let's see. Okay, I heard you for a minute, dude.
Okay, you know what? Then I'm just going to keep my regular Blue Yeti mic on, and I'm not going to worry about my microphone here. Okay. So you will be hearing me through my microphone on my headset. They will be hearing me through my Blue Yeti, which is perfectly fine. Unfortunately, the kids are still here, and wife hasn't taken them out of the house yet. Hopefully that changes in the next couple minutes. I was hoping they were going to be out by 9, but whatever. It's life.
No, it happens, dude.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that everybody hears each other right now. And that being the case, okay, I'm going to close my door right now. What do you call it? So anyway, so yeah, we decided that we are going to do this now a year later because tensions have cooled and calmed because this was a very divisive. If you loved the movie, if you hated the movie, you got to acknowledge this was a divisive movie. This had people split, and it actually started to make people think that, you know, oh, you're not a DC fan if you like this movie. You're not a DC fan if you don't like this movie. Like, that was a big deal.
The first 2 months, like when the universe split into whether you liked it or not, that was like a really harsh month to be a DC fan, you know, because if you liked it, you were a DC fan, and then you had the group that said if you didn't like it, you didn't like comic book movies.
Yeah,
like usually.
Yeah, I would see people's chats. You know, J-Roar. You know J-Roar? He's on YouTube. He's a huge DC fan, and he does like reaction videos and things like that. And I did want to see his opinion. The last time I actually watched him was his opinion on Suicide Squad and the BvS. I don't watch his Marvel stuff because he's not a Marvel fan. He's a huge DC fan. And I remember somebody in the comments. Yeah, I'm one of those dummies who sometimes reads the comments. Masochist, I guess. But he says, somebody says, I didn't like this movie, and they give a bunch of really logical reasons, which I agreed with. Mm-hmm. And somebody says, well, what about the Marvel movies? And he starts, you know, naming things, some which are valid, some which are not very valid, just, you know, obvious hate. And the other guy says, I don't think you this was like one of the best responses I've ever seen. He says, I don't think you really understand what I'm discussing here. I'm not a Marvel fan. I don't like the Marvel movies either. So the idea that he would be, you know, talking bad, you know, disrespecting, I guess, the DC movie, BvS, all of a sudden, everybody's just like, oh, no, you must be a Marvel fan, you know? And no, that's not the case.
Yep.
So, all right, so here, let's just get right into this right now. I know we were going to talk before. Maybe we'll try and save that a little bit later. I know you have to leave minimum by 10:59. You said, because you got to get in queue for the
trying to get a New York Comic Con ticket.
Yep, 2017 NYCC.
Yes, sir. I was able to get Friday tickets. I love you too. I was able to get on the pre-sale Friday tickets, but I'm trying to at least get Saturdays. See if I can go 2 days at least. I don't think I'm going 4 days, because what they did is they stopped selling 4-day tickets, so now you can only buy 1 day at a time. But that's for another conversation. I just wanted to bring that up.
No, by all means, because it's relevant. Plus, getting the tickets doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get into the building, right?
I mean, it guarantees that you're going to get into the building. It just doesn't guarantee that you're going to get it right away, because the lines are. For example, even if you have a ticket, the line sometimes wraps twice around the Javits Center, especially Saturday.
Which is insane.
So, yeah, exactly. And last year,
open all the doors.
We ended up getting caught in line on Saturday, and it was the one day in October that was really hot outside. Mm-hmm. So we were just dying, you know, in the heat. And we finally made it in about 2 hours later. So the show starts at 10. We were going in at like around 12:20. So 2.5 hours later. So
that's crazy.
It was, that's my Comic-Con adventure.
Thing, man.
Which, by the way, if you want to watch a review of that New York Comic-Con, I do have a video for it in the Geek Fortress.
Yep.
Cheap plug.
Not a cheap plug. That's just called a plug.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Also, description below, Geek Fortress on Facebook, Geek Fortress on YouTube. So, all right, let's discuss Batman vs. Superman. Now,
let's do it.
The movie starts off with a flashback.
Yep.
The movie starts off with a flashback. How'd that start off there, Lewis?
Same origin story we've seen in all the Batman movies, pretty much. Little Bruce Wayne.
The movies, the TV shows, the comic books.
You know, Negan is his dad.
That was awesome. And Maggie's his mom, which is perfect.
So Glenn had to, spoiler alert, Glenn had to die, you know?
Yeah, spoiler alert from the comics from forever ago and from the TV show almost as long ago.
Yeah. But in any case, we see, I did like the cinematography of that scene, I gotta admit. Like, I really enjoy, like, the pearls, the pearl necklace, and all of that, and the bullet breaking the pearl necklace. I enjoy that a lot.
The back of the gun, the recoil.
Yes, the back of the recoil, thank you. It broke the pearl necklace, and, you know, the usual Bruce Wayne screaming, blah, blah, blah. And See, here's the thing that I personally, the thing about origin stories, that when they keep remaking these movies, we keep seeing them and seeing them. Kind of like with Spider-Man. I wonder if in Homecoming we're going to see Uncle Ben die again. I mean, there's only so many times I can see the man die, for God's sake. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, damn. You know? But hey, I see why they did it. But anyways,
I
made that answer way too long.
No. By all means.
Yeah.
You know why they do it. But here's the thing. Why would they do that? They did the origin story so they could set up the Martha thing.
Mm-hmm,
all right?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Because, let's be realistic. This movie was not made for people who are not already fans of Batman and Superman. Not all. If you don't know who Batman and Superman are, one, welcome outside of the closet that you were living in your entire life. Two, I think it's more or less the idea that, for crying out loud, like, another origin story. Okay. Anyways, here's the thing. How many comic book movies, or how many comic books were piled into this movie, would you say? There was, oh gee, spoilers from a year ago, The Death of Superman.
Oh, Death of Superman.
Dark Knight Returns.
I would
Injustice, Gods Amongst Us.
Yes, thank you. Mm-hmm. See, I don't know if everybody has played the video games, so I was going to do like a little pre-explanation of the video game, but yes, Injustice. If you guys haven't played the game, really good game. There's also comic books for it, fantastic.
Yeah.
Serious, it's non-canon, of course, but it is a fantastic read. I highly recommend that, and I think Professor will as well.
Oh yeah, if you ever want to see a Batman who constantly has his eyes wide open like this, holy crap, did that just happen? That's the entire comic book.
Yep, pretty much.
So you got those three comics in there. What else is in there, for crying out loud? Like the Dark Side War, practically, is in there?
I kind of feel like also there's a tiny bit of whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow, and I just, maybe because of the whole fact that you have like a suffering Superman type thing, a Superman who it's kind of like not regretting per se, but he's like guilty about the things that he's done because he feels like he should save everybody. And again, whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow, great read. Oh, yeah. So I feel like just those aspects of that, not necessarily shot by shot, but some aspects from that are definitely in that. And then, of course, you have some hints of New 52 sprinkled here and there, you know, like the relationships, the outfits, kind of. But,
yes. But sprinkles, see, that's the thing. I think that this movie was pretty much all New 52. I feel like the, what do you call it? All of this stuff, for the most part, was New 52. Mm-hmm. They're really pushing the New 52 origins on us, which we're not in the New 52 anymore. You know, we're in Rebirth.
That's true. Yep.
So and New 52 was really divisive also. And at the same time, I think that similarly to the New 52, it was a spur-of-the-moment thing, just like this movie, or just like the cinematic universe for DC. It was on the spot suddenly, hey, you know what we should do? Because the Flashpoint, written by Jeff Johns, was not meant to be a reboot.
Okay.
DC suddenly came along and said, hey, you know what? Every 5 years we always do a Crisis, but we're not going to call it Crisis anymore. Hey, you know what? Let's call this, we'll call this Flashpoint. We'll say this is a reboot, and we'll reboot everything. Because that was all actually solved by the end of Flashpoint. Everything was solved. But then they turned around and said, yeah, no, it wasn't.
See, here's the thing, and I'm going to be 100% honest with you here. I love DC. I do. It's fantastic.
I don't know how you can't.
So I was introduced to DC first by, like, I want to say a year and a half of my life, just because my uncle, my aunt and uncle, so to say, both, they had like a stack of old comic books when I was a kid, and they were in Spanish, because some of you guys may not know, I am from Ecuador. So, and there was actually a small tiny copy of Action Comics #1. So it's not the kind that is worth $1 million, you know, but it was like a little, kind of like a, how do you explain, like a mini comic book thing in Spanish. So I read that and I was like, holy crap, you know, this is awesome, you know. And that was when comic books were simple, you know, it was panel, story, resolution, that's it. So I don't know if I like the simplicity of it, or it was just because I was, 7, 8 years old and it just hit me. But I was just like, wow. And keep in mind, Action Comics #1, excuse me, was like he couldn't even fly. He was just jumping around from building to building. So after
faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound.
That's right. That's right. So
first, before we get to Dick Fillmore over there, who just commented. Actually, let's just say that really quick. I love comics, but DCEU has been terrible. Looking forward to Wonder Woman, though. Brother, I don't know how you can't. I don't know how we couldn't, because, yes, Wonder Woman is looking to be spectacular. We could talk about Wonder Woman 2 in a bit.
I had quick funny story. I was having an argument with somebody at work the other day, because I was like, Wonder Woman's going to be the first big, amazing superhero movie with a woman, And you know what this guy has the guts to tell me? He's like, what about Catwoman? And it took all my power, all my will. Like, I should have gotten a Green Lantern ring after that. Or maybe a Red Lantern, because how mad I got. I just did one of these. I turned around, and I was like, you did not just say that, boy.
Here's the thing. I'm going to agree and disagree with him. It did take a lot for DC to say, you know what? Dick's laughing.
Hey, Dick, it's a true story, bro. Man, I almost RKO'd this mofo, bro. I was like,
out of nowhere.
Yeah, man.
Here's the thing.
Sorry, you're probably going to hear a lot of wrestling references. Sorry about that.
We are wrestling fans, man. Viva la raza.
That's right. Latino heat.
So, for them to actually take a chance, all right, for WB Studios to take that chance and put a woman in a lead for a movie like that was actually pretty interesting, right? But they did still go with the typical trope of, let's see how few clothes we could put on her.
I know. Dude. That pisses me off so much. I mean, I love the woman body, but come on. There's certain times where you're just like, really, dude? Are you that desperate to get views and to get people liking you that you're just going to show boobies and booties and thinking that, hey, maybe this will get us money?
Yeah.
That's for another conversation, I guess.
That's a shame. Dick Fillmore makes a very good point. Catwoman was only for movie night and getting some booty. And he says, orale.
Because it's one of those movies that you don't finish. You start, you snuggle with your girl, and then you pause the movie, and then you're like, wow, chicken, wow, wow. So I see what you mean. I personally would not show any girl that movie, but hey.
Yeah, it's I'm standing in line Free Comic Book Day to meet Devontae Smith showed up. Doesn't worry.
Devontae Smith,
welcome. Anyone that Wonder Woman has barely talked in the trailers. Yes. At the same time, here, this could go both ways, because she had what? How many lines did she have in the BvS?
Very few.
Yeah, how many lines did Henry Cavill have? I think he had 14.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
and she had less.
Bruce Wayne. Look, dude, the thing we get the most is freaking Lex Luthor, which is the thing that probably everybody hated the most with his whole Lex Luthor / Joker persona.
Yeah, let's just call him the Joker, because he was the Joker.
Honestly.
They didn't do a lot with Wonder Woman. There's a lot I want to talk about. Okay, we keep on pulling into Wonder Woman, all right? Yes, and Dick is right on there that Wonder Woman genuinely was like the main attraction of the movie. She absolutely was, because it's funny. All the scenes that she was in, pretty much, we'd already seen in the trailer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't see almost anything new.
When she showed up with the shield in the movie theater that I was, she got a freaking standing ovation, and I was part of that standing ovation because I saw her and I was like, yes, Wonder Woman in the big screen, the Trinity. Oh my God. I'm not going to lie, I got a little aroused. Totally worth it. Okay. But, hey, it was amazing. Standing ovation, clapping to see her on the big screen.
What's awesome is that, Wonder Woman is supposed to be, how tall is she supposed to be? Like 6'2", something like that?
Yeah, she's an Amazon.
Yeah, she's supposed to, a goddess. She's supposed to, be able to, well, obviously the comic books beat me up, but an actress who should play her should be able to beat me up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She is supposed to be just ginormous. Gorgeous beyond belief, but still ginormous at the same time. And Gal Gadot is what, 5'4", 5'2"?
I think she used to be in the military, actually.
Yeah, she is Israeli. She did have, I believe, mandatory subscription. Now, see, that's a comic book. Oh, for crying out loud. We don't have that in the States, so I joined volunteer in the military. But yeah, she was conscription. Jeez, for crying out loud. Mandatory conscription. She was in the Israeli military. Yeah, absolutely. She's a tough guy. She's a tough gal. But she did pull it off.
I say what you did there, Bill.
She's tough, you know what I'm saying, and she looks the part. Nobody knew what she was going to necessarily look like until the trailers finally came out. That's when we started to kind of see what's going around and whatnot. But no, a draft is not everybody. Conscription means everybody has to go in. Draft means that there's a lottery basically, usually based on your social security number.
Service, because I remember signing up for that.
Exactly. If the last time we had a draft was Vietnam, but what do you call it? Maybe he's saying that Israel has a draft. I don't actually know. No, I think that everybody has to serve over in Israel. Either way, regardless, lots of countries have that. So the idea is that Yeah, she did pull the role off, and it was a surprise to a lot of people because we all thought that she was just going to wind up blundering it. We all thought Batman, Ben Affleck, was going to screw it up. That's the thing. I don't have a problem with any of the actors in this. We already know from Man of Steel that he is, in my opinion, the best Superman since Christopher Reeve, and yet he didn't imitate Christopher Reeve in the slightest. Angela Wilson. I think I know that person. Who's Angela Wilson? Anyway, cannot wait for Wonder Woman. Yep. And Catwoman does not count. Laugh out loud. What do you call it? Yeah. You know what's funny? to have a little fun here, I actually met Angela Wilson by accident, didn't I, Lewis?
Yeah,
that was
right.
Avatar.
He was watching Avatar. I was sick as a dog that day. I don't know if you remember.
I remember you were sick.
Cold, and the whole time during the movie, I was like, I was like, God damn.
Just to give everybody an idea of how funny Lewis and I's relationship is. Lewis and I already knew each other. We hung out with each other a lot. He's been over my house for Kung Fu movie night, where I would just invite a whole bunch of people over. Somebody would bring some random Kung Fu movie and be like, has anybody seen this? And either we haven't, we're like, whoa, or yes, of course we have. I can't wait to watch this again. You know what I'm saying? So we had Kung Fu movie night, and several times, once every Saturday, I think I used to have it. And you and I decided, you know what, let's go out and see Avatar. I think this was the second time I was seeing it. Was the first time you were seeing it?
Yeah,
or the second time? It was your first time? Oh, get out of here.
Yes, sir.
And what do you call it? Which one of the twins took us? Was that Andrew? That Mark?
I think it might have been Mark.
Okay.
It might have been Mark. Yeah.
So and then you were kind of set up with a blind date with Angela. That was the first time you were meeting Angela too, right?
Yeah, that was our first date.
Funny. So like, I'm going to the movies thinking I'm just going to be hanging out with you, and all of a sudden, it's like, whoa, hold on, we've got a double date here, and I'm the third wheel. How did this all of a sudden happen?
You had Mark-ish.
No, Mark was there with his girl.
I know.
So that was a very weird night, but yeah, that was great. Conscription is correct, like the Irish in Braveheart. Dick, you are correct. And Devante, I am still waiting to see Gal Gadot act like Wonder Woman. She was a lot like Catwoman to me in BvS.
Interesting. That's an interesting comment right there.
Yeah, in the writing world, interesting doesn't necessarily mean a good thing, though.
If you won, Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Devante Smith, could you write down explaining to us a little why you think so? I would really like to hear that. In the meantime, though, Professor Bill.
Yeah, because I don't know if I agree with that now.
I do want to find out, though.
Absolutely.
I respect your opinion, so I do want an open-ended answer for this one.
Absolutely. All right. So anyway, what do you call it? Okay, so, well, yeah, we're all over the place, but that's a good thing. Here's the thing. We start off with a flashback, all right, where we
yes, sir.
The typical. And then the next scene in the movie is, oh, wait, it's another flashback. So it's kind of like a double dream.
It's like Inception, bro.
Right. It's like we're coming out of certain. It's like, when's the actual movie going to start? But this was actually a really good flashback. It's the flashback that we technically saw in the trailers, where we get to see just Bruce. Like, that's when, if anybody thought that Ben Affleck wasn't going to be able to pull off Bruce Wayne, we were immediately proven wrong. Dick Fillmore, you are not wrong that she was the best part of BvS. But But again, this is not about the actors. The actors, all of the actors, sans Jesse Eisenberg, in my opinion, did a great job. Jeremy Irons, for crying out loud, did a great job. And like, I think the last movie I'd seen with Jeremy Irons was the first Dungeons and Dragons movie, which he sucked in. I'm gonna control all the dragons. Like, what the hell am I looking at? They said Jeremy Irons is going to be Alfred. I was like, nope, not going to happen. But he pulled it off, and it was great.
Yeah, so, he was a great Alfred. He's up there with Sir Michael's. I'm forgetting his last name.
The guy who played Alfred in the
Michael Caine. Sir
Michael Caine. There you go. Thank you for crying out loud. One of the greatest supporting actors ever in history.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He beat Haley Joel Osment somehow.
Also, I'm forgetting his name. I like the guy who plays him in Gotham, the TV show.
Yes.
I think he's badass.
Yeah, actually, I love that military aspect, especially if you saw the latest All-Star Batman, issue number 10.
Okay.
Did you read that yet?
I did not. I'm a little behind on my comic books, unfortunately.
I did not put my review up for that yet. I've got the thing done. I haven't actually finished editing it or putting it up yet. Okay. But my review of it is great.
What I do is, if I'm too broke to get if I got every single issue of every comic book I wanted, I would be broke.
Yeah.
And
especially if you were a Marvel fan, because they're more expensive.
Yeah, and let me tell you, I'm getting back into Marvel, as you know. Marvel's not my forte, so I've been picking up a lot of Marvel books. I've been picking up Guardians. I've been picking up, Weapon X. And I also picked up the other day Gwenpool, because I want to start reading that more.
I have a feeling Gwenpool is going to be canceled pretty soon. But yeah.
Fantastic. And I like what Marvel does, because they do this digital comic book, which is an amazing idea. You buy the comic book, you get a code, and then you get like 3 free comic books from the digital library.
DC is doing something similar to that right now. You pay $1 extra. You pay $1. They'll have 2 covers. They'll have the $2.99 comic, and they'll have the $3 comic, the $3.99 comic. So same price as Marvel, but you buy the $3.99 comic. It's the exact same, but it also has the digital comic in it. What is that? I don't see so well.
That was my kitty. Captain.
Oh, that's your kid?
Trying to eat my cable. Yeah.
Nice. Red Fly. What do you think about Secret Empire? That's a beautiful little kitty.
Thank you.
I first heard Jeremy Irons in Lion King. Nice, Dick. I didn't know that. Red Fly. What do you think about Secret Empire? Brother, Secret Empire is the hands-down most amazing thing ever. And it's also funny that when you have people clamoring that Marvel needs a reboot, and Marvel decides to reboot just one character, Captain America, and see how everybody feels about it, and everybody flips out. It's like, no, nobody wants a reboot from Marvel. I don't want to hear that. But he's going to go back to normal, and it'll be fine. Here we got our answer. In BvS, Wonder Woman shows up mysteriously. Yes, casing the party. Okay, damn it. She attempts to steal an item. Damn it. Seduces Bruce. Jesus. And leave during the world-ending battle until Bruce appeals to her good nature.
Okay.
Holy crap, she should have, instead of the Eternal, she should have the damn cat ears.
Let me just tell you something.
That's really observant.
I don't know if you heard that, but that was a little mind explosion right there.
Yeah, wow.
You just blew up my mind a little. Okay, good point.
That was actually a really good point. Holy crap. You see, and that's why I like doing this stuff live. That's why I like doing this stuff live. You know what I'm saying? Not Bill O'Reilly live, but like actual live. I like doing this stuff live.
It is Saturday, but it's morning, so we're Saturday morning live.
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
Before you know it.
I like the interaction.
To quote Bon Jovi, I'm feeling like a Monday, but someday I'll be Saturday night.
You can tell you're from Jersey, man.
Yes, sir.
Once we start quoting...
I actually lived in Saraville. But anyways, back to business.
Nice. Okay, Dick Fillmore, although she meant Halle Berry Catwoman. No, actually, what do you call it? What was... Anne Hathaway. Yeah, that literally is. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. There was actually a lot taken from... Dark Knight Rises. There's actually a lot taken from there. There was a lot taken from all over the place. Anyway, so here's the thing. We start the second flashback of the beginning of this movie. What do you call it? We have Bruce Wayne. We get some really good action scenes from him. We get some great facial expressions from him, right? And I loved it. I loved everything I saw here. But then something really stupid happens, okay? We see the city, like not just a building, we see the effing city being destroyed. And at first I'm thinking, Zack Snyder actually did something amazing. He listened to the fans. We were all clamoring about Batman vs. Superman. We're all saying, holy crap. You know what I'm saying? They destroyed everything, and it's not even being addressed. Batman or Superman's just sitting there like, okay, everything's going to be cool now, man. Literally, he's like, giggity. Like, what the hell was that? And giggity. Right? And then, so he actually addresses that the place got destroyed, and that's the motivation for Batman hating Superman, and just perfect. Could not have asked for more perfect than that.
That face of hate
that
you see on Bruce Wayne.
He became Batman and Bruce Wayne all rolled up in one. It was perfect. It was perfect. Better than Christian Bale. Better than. Do I even need to say Adam West? I dare even say.
I hold Adam West on a different spectrum on the Batman line.
Well, he is, but he's comedy, man. Anyway, look, I met him. He's a really good person. He's a really good person in person. And we just got finished doing the Family Guy reference, the mayor.
That's right. He's the mayor.
But honestly, I think even better than Michael Keaton in some regards, right? Because he really pulled that off.
I agree.
Yeah, like whatever. Michael Keaton is on his own level. Michael Keaton is Michael Keaton level. So,
exactly.
I love that facial expression alone that they showed in the trailers. Also, was just wow. You could see it in his eyes. He's an amazing actor, absolutely amazing. So, but then he actually makes the phone call right before that scene, whatever, and he says, "I need you to get out of the building." You actually see the shot outside the window. Now, are those soundproof glasses? Kevin Conroy is the best Batman. He's the best Batman voice, no doubt. Mr. Fillmore, you were right. But
I am vengeance.
Do we need?
I am the night. I am Batman. Sorry, I had to.
Yeah. So, how did this guy get to executive CEO level or whatever? This guy in the building who answered the phone. First off, why did you answer the phone? The place is falling apart. And the phone goes off, and you're like, "Oh, I guess I should answer the phone. Someone might have a question."
It's my boss.
My boss. Was it a red phone underneath, a petri dish glass, like back in the old 66 Batman movie or TV show? But I mean, what the hell? You answer the phone when the whole city's being destroyed. You actually see buildings falling down, and you need your boss to say, "Okay, fine, you have permission to leave." Dude, Bruce Wayne, worst boss ever.
So out.
Worst boss ever, right? You can't leave because we got business to take care of. Like that's what I'm gathering from this. Okay, fine. You can leave early. You can have a half day of school. Like, what the hell is that, man?
Just because that building is falling down doesn't mean you don't have to input those numbers.
Is your building falling down? Is your building falling down? No. You stay in that building right there, all right? We got stock investors. We got to please. Like, come on.
Come on, bro. I got to keep those Wayne bucks coming in, man.
Absolutely ridiculous, man.
No, man.
It's totally ridiculous. So, look, I think that to start this off, exactly, Devontae, exactly what we're saying. So, here's the thing. I want to establish right now, before we get into the actual movie, because these are the two flashbacks. Now we can finally get into the movie, but this movie was the beginning of the DC Cinematic Universe, okay? I know that logically, and according to
Man of Steel,
according to official releases from Warner Brothers Studios, DC executives, what have you, Man of Steel was technically the first. But were they expecting to make a DCEU when Man of Steel released? No, they absolutely were not. They absolutely were not. So it was, in retrospect, it was a respec. It was a reboot idea. All right, it was along those lines that they finally decided. Okay, you know what? We're going to take that, because if they were thinking to do a DCEU, I think that everybody here who saw Man of Steel can agree that they could have introduced Aquaman easily and much better instead of through a goddamn email, through Man of Steel, as opposed to here.
There was that rumor, remember, that when Clark was on water,
the oil rigger, yes, you saw the whale down there, that it was actually Aquaman who saved him, who brought him up to the top. Exactly. They could have very easily introduced him there, right? Like, just that's the thing. So why did they have Wayne Truck and Satellite and MOS, right? Well, there are a lot of reasons for that. If you look at a lot of the Marvel movies, they didn't know that they were necessarily going to do a whole bunch of different things. They do a bunch of things all the time. Look, they weren't planning on making a Howard the Duck movie, right? Yet Howard the Duck made a cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and in Volume 1, he was the one and only, the sole end credit scene. Right?
All I'm going to say, original Howard the Duck, Leah Thompson. Oh my God, she was so hot. Sorry.
All right, thanks for staying on the subject.
I just want to address a question real quick from Red Fly, just because it's catching my eye.
Oh, yes.
What do you think about the button? How is it going to affect DC Rebirth? Okay, Red Fly. Personally, I'm enjoying it a lot. I mean, Professor Bill, I'm going to let you put your opinion as well. I just really like that they're asking about the button, because not that many people are reading it based on what I'm reading in forums.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it. I personally enjoy it a lot. I don't like that they're doing this whole, okay, Flashpoint happened, but it wasn't Barry Allen's fault. That's another for that hand. That brings us back to what we were talking about earlier. Remember how Flashpoint fixed everything?
Mm-hmm.
But now out of nowhere, the comedians button shows up and everything changes. Well, I don't know if you've read all the issues yet. I gotta go pick up the last one today, probably. I think the latest one came out.
No. Hold on.
No,
right now. Flash number 22 is the last part of the 4-part the button, and it was delayed by a week. It'll be out on the 17th. Okay. It'll be out this Wednesday. Perfect. Anyway, I don't want to get too far into that because it is completely off the title of the subject, and we are live. But later on, people are going to be looking at this and saying, "Okay, you didn't talk about." BvS at all. So, yes, we love the Flash. I actually just got Jason Fabok to sign the 3 lenticular copies that already came out, and we are loving the button. Agreed, they should have had Batman Matt 510. Agreed, they should have had Batman pop up in there. Aquaman pop up. It would have been so easy. Exactly, but he wasn't cast. They didn't have the idea. They didn't know that this was going to be a DCEU, and after the fact, I think it was the idea of, you know what, sometimes, this is on the subject, a lot of times, you'll go out, you'll do something, you'll maybe do a job, all right, and you think to yourself, okay, I've been at this job for 10 years, and I haven't been promoted yet, but if I keep at it, I'll be promoted. But you're seeing all these other people promoted around you, like sometimes twice, or more sometimes around you. It might be that you're simply not what they're looking for. That doesn't mean that you're not qualified for anything. That doesn't mean that you're no good. It means that these people who have their own opinions of what life is supposed to be like, of what the job is supposed to be like, it just means that they don't value you enough. If somebody doesn't value you, I don't care if it's in a job, in a relationship, I don't care if it's your mother and your father. If they don't value you enough, that is a relationship that you, if not sever entirely, at least move along, right? Because everything has to be about mutual respect. So,
very toxic.
Yeah, exactly. But so I think that was the same kind of failure that they did with the Man of Steel. Man of Steel, in and of itself, was not the greatest movie. The only real biggest problem I had with it was the end. You know what I'm saying? The idea that he had to kill Zod. A lot of people are like, well, what would you have done in this situation? Well, I've got 2 answers to that. One, I wouldn't have had, that's if I'm the writer or the director, I would have simply removed that scene. I wouldn't have had it like that. But if you absolutely had to be in that scene, if it was real life, talking about comic book movies, if there was real life, okay, Superman, exactly. You see me say that before or not? Put your hand over top of his eyes. You know what I'm saying? And then fly him up into space, for crying out loud. Dude, it's not the hardest thing in the world.
Cover the eyes.
Yeah.
Knock him out.
Exactly. For the love of God, put your hands over his eyes. Easiest damn thing in the world. What would you have done? Well, obviously, you didn't think about the scene any more than Zack Snyder thought about the scene. So
I don't think they understood the character of Superman and things that he can do to an extent.
They were trying too hard to do the New 52 Superman, which again, so divisive amongst comic fans.
I'm always going to say, New 52, I enjoyed it, I read it, but Superman, and are you guys ready for it? Not my favorite part of the New 52. Which is ironic. Superman is my favorite superhero of all time. But New 52 Superman was, So when the Superman from not to get too into detail, but something happens later. Another Superman comes back. I was happy about that, and then something else happened, and that's it. I'll shut up now.
Okay, no. I'm seeing, first off, Matt 10, completely agree with what they've done with Superman and Batman making them killers. Yes, that's a big part of what we're going to be talking about. And quite frankly, Lewis, I'm tired of what we're going to be talking about. I need to actually be talking about it. But Devontae makes a good point. Does it worry anybody the WB allowed Zack Snyder to cast the entire Justice League? It kind of hamstrings the other creators making DC movies. That is probably the number one statement that I could ever make in regards to this movie. Absolutely. Why is Zack Snyder considered God? Or why is he considered, like the end-all be-all of the DCEU? Do they think, like, if you see all of the fans clamoring that this sucks, like more and more people are falling off that bandwagon. Like, I wanna give us a statistic right now, okay? Do you remember Bat Nipples? Do you remember Batman and Robin, that movie?
God, yeah.
Okay, Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, okay, who completely stole the show and just, do you remember that? Do you remember how horrible that movie was? Do you know that the drop-off of that movie, between the first week and the second week, the drop-off of that movie was 63%.
Damn.
So, that's big, that's huge. You want to know a movie that had worse drop-off than that? Batman vs. Superman was 68%. 68% drop-off rate. The first week, it was the #1 movie, ever. People were like, "Oh my god!" I remember you. In fact, sorry, buddy, I'm calling you out, brother. I'm calling you out. Okay.
No.
Highest opening weekend ever. I think that this should make everybody who doesn't like this movie shut up. And then I was like, I'm gonna hold my opinion until the second week. And what happened?
Yep.
That's the big thing. What is the most important part? Love Downey is Mr. Freeze forever. Matt 510. So what do you call it? That's the thing, man. Any business that you have, whether it's a movie or not, look, if you make a movie, the distribution sales are important. That's the reason why Marvel doesn't make isolated Hulk movies anymore. Right? Because they own the rights to the Hulk. They got the rights back from Universal Studios, but Universal Studios still retains the rights to the distribution. So the Marvel will only make money off of the merchandise, and they'll make money off of the movie itself, but the DVD sales and stuff like that, Universal is going to make all that money off of it. And they don't have to do anything to do with the movie whatsoever. They still have to have their names in the credits. They still have to get the full distribution rights to the movies, or to the DVD sales, the Blu-ray sales, all that stuff, which is kind of ridiculous, But whatever.
Yes,
Marvel wound up falling themselves into that contract in the first place. So, bang, there you have it. But the DVD sales, the Blu-ray release sales, that is a good portion of the movie sales, because that is a portion of the repeat viewership. Did you like the movie? Are you going to go out and buy my T-shirt? Are you going to go out and buy my hat? Are you going to go out and buy? And nobody was really buying the merchandise for the most part. Nobody was buying any of that stuff. Meanwhile, I'm wearing this that came out about that time, but this was before the movie actually came out. You know what I'm saying? I didn't buy anything afterwards. I had the choice of buying socks that had BvS for my son, and I just looked at it, I was like, no, because he's going to ask about the movie and and the toys. He's going to ask about the darn movie, and I can't let him ever watch this movie. It wasn't good, and it was very violent, and no. So that was actually a huge deal that somehow they keep on going back to Zack Snyder as though they think that he is whatever, man. Max Landis sucks, that's why. Dick Fillmore, a little bit more of that. I don't understand that. Who's Max Landis? I should know that. And I don't want to kill my internet right now.
I got you.
Matt 510, thank you. All across the company, ownership is screwing with my super teams. And crossovers in my universe wish they would just give all the rights back. We don't want another Fan 4 stick. Oh, man, yeah, I agree. BvS Ultimate Blu-ray, enjoy it more or hate it more? Okay, I'm going to give you my opinion on that first. I hated it more. It explained more. Make no mistake, Dick Fillmore asked that question. It explained a lot more, but it also made me watch the damn movie again. And it still made it was still convoluted, and all the same problems were still there. Introducing all these characters for the Justice League, which they didn't have to be introduced
through video. Don't forget that.
Yeah, through an email, through a damn email. Like, just look. I hate having to do these comparisons. Okay, that Marvel, who had 9 years experience in 14 movies before they did their combined universe thing with Civil War, Captain America: Civil War, all right, and had everybody fighting, and DC, who's like, okay, this is our second official movie, but our first real movie where we're going to have a combined universe, and let's just throw everybody in there at the same time. How did they do it in Marvel? It was the after, not even an end credit scene. It was the after credit scene where a lot of people didn't even see it unless you went in the second time because you heard about it or looked it up. Where Nick Fury just kind of walks in, Samuel L. Jackson, I want to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative. That alone made me more excited than all the little videos of Aquaman surfing and the Flash.
I remember watching that, and my reaction was this: oh.
That's right.
Just from one line. And we are going to address the ultimate cut in a second. For those of you guys who are talking about it, we just let's just see if we can get through this part first.
Max Landis wrote the new Superman. Oh, okay, thank you. Are the extra scenes in the Ultimate Edition canon? For the movie, yes, technically they are, because they were actually added in. If they were, the way that it always works in these, until one of these guys tell me otherwise, the way that these work is if it's an after-credit scene, if it's never actually addressed, after-credit scene, sorry, no, if it's a deleted scene or an alternate ending or alternate opening, it's not canon unless it's actually addressed in the movie. The one example I could say where an alternate opening became canon to a degree was there was the one time that in the Incredible Hulk movie, if you bought the DVD, there's an alternate opening where Bruce Banner gets dropped off in the truck. He goes probably in Alaska or in the far north, whatever.
That's right.
He goes up top and he tries to he tries to shoot himself, right? Puts the gun in his mouth or whatever, and he spits out the bullet. And then he just hulks out, and that was the scene where, if you saw it, I freeze-framed it on DVD so many times I can't even, or on Blu-ray so many times I can't even tell you. You actually got to see Captain America in the ice, which was just like, oh, because he was always, for the longest time, he was my favorite character. But that was not canon until all of a sudden they addressed it in the Avengers movie, where they said, there was one time I tried to put a bullet in my head, and the green guy spit it out. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, oh, shoot. So now all of a sudden that's canon. That's canon. At least the story is canon. So, yes, that's actually how that works. Dick Fillmore is the 4-story arc orgy that ruined. Yeah, it was more than 4. We were talking about.
Can he say orgy? Can we say orgy? Is YouTube gonna kill us?
Orgy? Are you asking if we can say orgy? I don't know.
Can we say orgy? Did I just say orgy again?
We can't have an orgy. But
hey, it's a live audience, bro.
Ooh, unless we're gonna do it like they did in what was that one movie, Zoolander? If we're gonna have a Zoolander orgy, that would be a cool orgy. All right, we're getting way off the subject, damn it.
As long as we don't bathe ourselves in gasoline and light up a match,
okay,
we're good.
The new Logan movie is okay. We're actually gonna have. I want to have Lewis. Matt 5'10" is a psychic, son of a gun, and one of these days I want to have a conversation about the Logan movie with you, but not today.
I agree with you.
Not today.
Matt 510. I mean, we could probably do another one about Logan if you guys enjoy that.
That's what I'm saying. But we need to actually get past the beginning.
Yeah.
Marvel Legacy. Okay, yes, Red Fly. It is true. Marvel Legacy is going to bring back all the old characters. That includes the original Wolverine. It is going to bring him back also. Oh, see, that's the thing. I actually do my news channel and all that stuff. Okay, Dick's leaving because there's no orgy. I guess when your parents name you Dick.
Sorry, bro. Sorry.
Wait, Dick, you got to stick around because Lewis is wearing a Nightwing shirt. So that's the ultimate Dick right there. The ultimate Dick pic. Look, Lewis has a Dick pic.
I do.
So Dick Grayson, ladies and gentlemen.
I also have Kitty around here, which counts as a pussy. So
I can show
you a pussy cat.
Okay, let's come on, man. I got teenage kids who might watch this. So,
I'm sorry. A pussy cat.
Anyway,
I tell a pussy cat.
So, anyways, check this out. So what? Crying out loud! Let me get my notebook out now. Let's just keep this going. Okay, we've already established that Batman has a great reason, okay, to hate Superman. But why does Superman hate Batman?
Oh my god, I think it has to do with the whole vigilante justice thing. That's what they try to make you.
Wait, but is Batman sanctioned by the government?
No, he's not.
He's not. You see, the vigilante thing worked in Dark Knight Rises, in the Dark Knight Returns. All right, when Frank Miller stopped doing Daredevil over in Marvel, came over to DC, and basically turned Batman into Daredevil. I always say that because everybody's like, "Oh, Batman revolutionized everything." No, what's his name? George Miller. I'm saying George Miller. Yeah, Zombie Batman. I want to see Zombie Batman. But Frank Miller revolutionized the comic book industry, and his pre-Batman, the Dark Knight Rises tryouts was over in Daredevil. So there's that. What will happen to delete characters that currently in Marvel? Red Fly, I don't know. That we don't know yet. We don't know how this will happen. We have to wait until the ending of Secret Empire.
Stay tuned to find out.
So, same bad time, same bad channel. So, what do we have? For crying out loud, Lewis. See, okay, we need to get an intern to address the chat. That's what we need to do.
Okay, let's for real. We need a third party person.
Yeah, we really do.
Let me call YouTube real quick, see if they can send somebody.
What do you call it? Here?
We'll get to the chat. How about we just try to keep going, and then we'll get to the chat. And guys, sorry if we don't answer all your questions.
Let's try to keep it based on this because we're already about an hour into this. Sorry. And Lewis has to go in an hour.
To get Comic-Con tickets.
Right? So, okay, so here's the thing. In the Dark Knight Returns, okay, Frank Miller had it so that Superman was actually working for the U.S. government. He was working for Ronald Reagan. There was actually a scene where he had the eagle on his, arm and all that stuff, and just like it was good. It was perfect. And Batman was the vigilante. Superman was sanctioned by and for the U.S. government. He was going after Russia. There was the Cold War thing, all that stuff, and Batman was embarrassing the Reagan government by having, Gotham, the only city without crime, the only city without any kind of crime. And that was embarrassing to the presidency, to the United States, as a whole, whatever. So they sent Superman to stop Batman from cleaning up crime in Gotham because, for stupid reasons. So there I could see the whole thing. I mean, like one of the best lines in there, if it's not me, they're gonna send somebody to stop you. And Batman says, who's going to stop you? Who do they send to stop you? You get it? So like that was one of the best scenes ever. If you need a bathroom break, dude.
No, I'm trying to. My mom is visiting because Mother's Day and everything.
And my God.
Yeah. So I'm trying to signal her to do something for me. That's all. Sorry.
Wow. Okay. So here's the thing. Batman is a vigilante here, but Superman is also a vigilante. Superman has caused way more destruction in one day than Batman is capable of doing, even if all 6 of the previous movies were canon. Even if all those other movies were canon, Batman couldn't have possibly caused that much destruction as Superman did. But the bat is dead. The next time the bat signal goes up, don't answer it. Like, what the hell was that? What?
I know.
What the hell was that? And let's just be a little bit realistic about the irony of there. He stopped Batman. He destroyed the Batmobile. He stopped Batman from chasing murderous criminals who had also just stolen kryptonite.
They wrote Superman in a way that they made you want him to get punched in the face. That's what it comes down to. They make him look like a Richard, like a dick. All right, and just think about it. And let's be honest. For people who know comic books, for everybody listening, Superman. You really think Superman's going to be like, that man is stopping those rapists and murderists. I'm gonna destroy his ride. No, even if he doesn't know Batman and what he does, I think at this point in the universe for Batman vs Superman, he heard of the Batman. I mean, come on, we see it in the newspaper. He works at the Daily Planet.
As a reporter!
He knows that the Batman is doing good. Okay, fine. you don't like the vigilante thing just because you wear red, white, and blue. Yeah,
you're scaring people. You're scaring people.
But guess what? This man was in the middle of
you know what's scary? The entire damn city being dropped on top of my ears and family members being killed. Right? Like, oh my God.
I know.
My God.
It was insane. But, anyways, we keep moving forward in the movie.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's another good part that I really the whole, you know what I find funny, the whole like introduction of kryptonite in this movie, how like it just fell down. I want to say when Zod came, because they found it in the ocean. Remember? So the whole finding of the kryptonite, whole funding of the weapon, and as long as we don't want to touch this subject, we get introduced to the Joker.
Here's the thing, the Joker, Jesse Eisenberg. Here's the thing. First off, before we even get to that, here's this question I have for you.
Go ahead.
How did the military get a hold of Zod's ship?
Dude, loophole.
Yeah.
Reasons.
It's not even suspension of disbelief. It's suspension of intelligence. Okay.
Yeah.
They didn't get a hold of Superman's ship.
Exactly. And remember that at the end of Man of Steel, it's like, I know you're trying to find out where I hand my cape. Because the whole drone, he destroyed it, remember? He's like, oh, that's a $1 million drone, whatever. And I believe Superman would have not left a nilly-willy in the middle of whatever it was that it landed. He doesn't want his heritage out there. He doesn't want anybody messing with it. Yeah. Why would he leave it there?
Yeah. So...
I'm a writer. What do I know? I'm going to make $1 million.
When you went to see the Man of Steel in theaters, did you get the comic book that they handed out?
I did not. I was actually on vacation that week in Florida. I watched it at Universal Studios, AMC theaters, and they were giving out crap. Like I asked, I was like, "Oh, is there any freebies?" And the girl was like, "No." And I was like, okay, well, thank you. So
what they did was they handed out a comic book that it turns out that the ship that Superman found up in the north was actually Kara Zor-El's ship. Kara El's ship. That was Supergirl. All right, Supergirl's ship was found. Now they saw a whole bunch of, he saw a whole bunch of dead, people in there, whatever. And one of the pods was open, and that was actually supposed to be Supergirl. She escaped. She lived. She's the sole survivor, so she's out there somewhere. That I think would have been a much better, aspect to explore in Man of Steel 2. You know what I'm saying? That I think would have been great. Just a small little thing that I wanted to show in there, and then boom. Matt 510, totally agree. He would grab it and dump it in the fortress or the sun. Exactly. Devante.
I'm going to go with the sun.
No, I believe that he would keep it and learn more about it.
He would examine it. I mean, he's got, in this universe, he's got the robots from the fortress.
Yeah.
From the Fortress of Solitude. So get the robots to examine it, learn more about your culture. You only came to this Earth when you were a baby and have no idea what Krypton looked like.
Almost 27 light years away, you want to have some idea of what your family is, your planet.
Get your culture, get what's going on.
He's waiting for the sci-fi series to come out.
Yeah, exactly.
So he can learn about his family.
I just don't get it. Like I'm not Superman, but I would be like, what if there's more coming? I need to examine this ship. I need to find out. I need to see. I need to dig. But hey, again.
Devante says, why would the U.S. government want Lex to develop a weapon that works against a super powerful, indestructible alien? Okay, no, I understand that. Why they would want the ship is not what's on question here. What's on question is, why would Superman allow the U.S. government to get the ship? Like, Superman, the guy can fly fast enough that you can't see him. He's actually that fast. He's strong enough that he could pick up the ship. What would it take for the U.S. government to get a hold of this ship? It would take infinite resources, which the government has. It would take, infinite time, which the government, if there's a Superman out there, would not have. Okay? Yep. Superman is a reporter, as we've already established. He's a reporter. There's no way for him to not know. If he could find Lois Lane, off someplace in another country, or just in the movie, in the comic books, he can find her everywhere by flying around and using his X-ray vision and his super hearing and hear her specific heartbeat and all that stuff. there's no way that they can make an operation, the U.S. government, so that they can get the ship. So why they got it? Oh, we know exactly why they would want all of that. But could
Superman
they get it?
Is the variable. If
there's
it were
no
in
way.
a Superman movie, I would understand. Like maybe Men in Black. Yes, they have resources, but it's Superman. You could be the government, but Superman can get in and out. He probably can visit Area 51 and get out with all the alien proof, even though he's an alien, so that would be ironic. But you know the point I'm trying to make. Okay, fine, you're the government, but that's Superman. I mean, I don't know. Like,
there's no way that Superman would not have known that he was that this was going down, that they were taking Zod's ship. It doesn't make any logical sense why Superman would have said, "Yeah, sure, you can have, my history and all this stuff." No, that doesn't make sense. I'm sure they'll share stuff with me. Let's move on. Dick says they should have made Lex Bruce Wayne.
Oh boy!
I don't know if they could have made it any worse, man. They might as well. Let's just have fun with it.
Give me 1 second. Just keep going. I'll be right back.
So, jeez, I might as well answer questions now. So, yeah, that's the thing. I just don't see why Superman would ever allow them to have this. It doesn't make sense that he wouldn't know that the government was taking Zod's ship. It doesn't make sense that he wouldn't be able to take Zod's ship. It doesn't make sense that he would give them permission to go do that. If he wanted to share the information with them, fine. I could see him doing that. But Superman would be in charge of that. He would not trust humans to do that, because you just look at the comic books alone. The Justice League has teleportation technology that they don't give to the rest of society, because if they gave teleportation to the teleportation tubes that they have in the Justice League and the Watchtower to regular humans, who knows what kind of damage they could do with it. So that's that. Louis, I was just trying to finish up on that point. But now, the U.S. government somehow... It's life. The U.S. government gets the ship because reasons, because Snyder logic. Let's just call it Snide logic. So now, once they get this technology, they decide to give it to, of all people, Lex Luthor.
Dude, I know.
So here's this clearly crazy person. Okay, first off, it's not. Here's the thing that kills me. After the fact, even with the extended edition, we do not get to find out that this is not actually Lex Luthor. Even with the scene with the painting and all that stuff, where it's like, my father, look, he clearly says that he had a father. Oh, yeah, because the real Lex Luthor didn't have a father. Jesus Christ, come on, man. Look, when they call this guy Lex Luthor, and they say that he is Lex Luthor, you got to assume he's Lex Luthor. If they're saying that this is actually the son of Lex Luthor, also named Lex Luthor, they could have said Alexander Luthor, because Alexander Luthor in the comics, back during the death of Superman, did have long curly red hair. Here's the thing. Mm-hmm. He didn't act like that retard either.
No. I remember him correctly. He was a very serious businessman who got fake Supergirl on the side.
Yes, he was badoinka-doinking Supergirl on the side.
Yes, sir.
Sir. But here's the thing. If you've never read a Superman comic before, or if you have read a Superman comic before and then you cut off for a while, but you went back.
Thanks for watching, man.
Later, man. Even if Superman, even if you just jump on and you read the 4-issue Death of Superman series and you see that Lex Luthor in there, you would not know. The only question you would ask is, how come Lex Luthor has hair now? Because he acted just like the original Lex Luthor, like his father. So. Whatever.
I think the final nail in the coffin was when they shaved his head at the end. That was like, either that or they would just pass the man. But
you're breaking up a lot, brother. And you're frozen. You're breaking up a lot. Am I?
I know. I can hear you fine.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I do. Okay, so the government had to give him access to the ship because he had Jolly Ranchers. Yes, Devontae, that's exactly my point. It doesn't make sense. Like, this guy was clearly batshit crazy. He was batshit crazy. There's something wrong with this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not right in the head. And they're like, yeah, let's give all this... Let's give... Okay, it might be my internet. There's a lot going on. I might actually have to kill my my feed, my which you know what, I'm just going to kill the chat. All right, I'm going to leave the chat to you.
Okay.
Yeah, let me close that down because yeah, you're actually frozen to me right now. So what do we got here? Ooh. In the chat, can you see everybody or no? You know, I think that I have to keep your Skype screen open.
Everybody.
Come on. Oh. Yeah, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you?
Yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to do that. Okay, so let me talk for a little bit here. They give this obvious psychopath the full range to do whatever he wants to do. All right? Sole access. It's not a team. They literally say, okay, here's your company. You're clearly a psychopath. I'm going to let you do all this crazy stuff, even though clearly you are off the hinges nuts. Now, there was a cute scene in here, which I enjoyed, but it made zero sense at all. He takes the fingerprints and puts them on his self of Zod, and he goes up and he touches the access and says, he's able to get some kind of access there. And what happens? They say, the ship says, you are not supposed to have access to this. Okay, you know, this Kryptonians have never done this before, and you are not supposed to have access to this. So, Lewis, what was his answer to that?
I can hear you too well, man. Can you hear me?
You're breaking up for me. Check the chat. Guys, who do you hear better, me or Lewis or neither of us?
People from the chat, we need your help.
This all happened when you left and came back. Hey, you know what? Dude, stop. Is somebody in your house using Netflix or something like that? Because
nope,
that's going to...
Everybody's good.
Okay. Anyway.
Angie went into the bathroom, so she's good. She's not using anything.
Oh, yeah, she's going to love that you just said that live. So anyway, it's done. It's done. Can't rewind it.
Yeah, okay. It's the internet. That's it.
Okay, so check this out. Here's the thing that kills me. That what they say,
right, so
what the machine says. Okay. What the machine says is the Kryptonian technology, this advanced technology, okay, that blows anything that we've got on Earth away. It says, you don't have access to this. And Luthor replies, are the Kryptonians still alive? And it says, no. So it says, okay then. And he continues on. So he has full access to the ship now. This is Kryptonian technology. Here's the thing. I've got modern day technology. Okay, here's my little iPhone. If you take this, okay, or even older technology, all right, even if it's an old like Nokia phone, and you try to enter a password and it's not mine, can you say to this phone, the original user is dead? Therefore, his entire species is dead. Therefore, I am going to now, have full access to this. So why is it that
it blocks you?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So why is it that super advanced Kryptonian technology is just like, well, I guess you're so much smarter than me. Like, that's ridiculous. That's just so ridiculous. There are more plot holes. There are more holes in this plot than Swiss cheese. Okay. Yeah, I'm everything where Lex Luthor is in this is just as dumb gets.
Yes, sir.
Go on. What do you have for me, Lewis?
No, first of all, everybody can hear me, right? I just want to make sure.
I hear
Everybody's you. Good. Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. All right. So, I personally, like the great thing that you just said about the phone, you're 100% correct. And I don't know if you heard me. What happens usually is you get blocked out of your phone if you do that crap. And I want to say, if you do it in a Kryptonian ship, and it's not you, I think 30 robots will come out of nowhere and kill you. Yeah. That's just what I think. So the fact that he got away with that, and even the whole fingerprint thing, because first of all, how do we know Kryptonian has fingerprint technology? How do we know that it's not different? How do we know that it's warmth? I mean, there's so many things that you can dissect out of that scene that just don't make sense. And especially the fact, I mean, we understand that Lex Luthor got access to the ship, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's just in creams. But I honestly do not believe that it would have been that easy for him to hack alien technology. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. I get he's a genius. Yeah, I get that he's a genius and blah blah blah. I get that. Okay, that's cool. That's fantastic. But yeah, I'm sorry. When you saw how advanced, like when you remember Man of Steel, when he was running through the ship and there's his father, you know what I'm saying, that the AI of his father, and block this and open this and close this door and go this way and turn that way. And he's doing it with Lois also. Like, that was amazing.
Yep.
You know, like that blew me away. I was like, this is freaking amazing. I love this. And now Kryptonian technology becomes, are there any more still alive? No. Well, first off, you're wrong. They're Superman.
Yep.
So, you know, and apparently Zor-El, what do you call it? Kara-El is out there someplace.
Yep.
Kara Zor-El. So, what the hell? So, yeah, I'm just, none of this stuff makes sense for the most part. None of it makes sense.
No.
I'm willing to dismiss the whole idea. Why not just put his hand up there if it's fingerprints? Because maybe he wants to check to see if he's still alive also. So maybe cut him off and put him on him so they can see, oh, there's his fingerprints and they're still alive. But it obviously knew it wasn't actually him. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So just that was just stupid. The whole scene was just stupid. Here's another thing.
It gets even stupider when he creates quote-unquote Doomsday using that same technology.
Just
it's like, what?
Just the ideology of how he would do something like that. I hate Superman. You know, first off, he doesn't have any reason to hate Superman. Why does he hate Superman? In the comic books, we know every single reason why he hates Superman.
Yep.
But in the comics, why does he hate Superman? It's not explained at all. So, hey, is there anything going on in the comments, or what?
We have somebody just saying that
Name.
where's
What's
the
name?
3 fail safes at least? Pretty much our man Matt making fun of the ship. They made the ship too user-friendly. And yes, I agree.
Who said that?
Make it too user. Matt 510.
Matt 510?
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. It's very user-friendly. You know, like, worst security system in the world, man.
I mean, I honestly think a 5-year-old could have hacked it at this point.
No, really.
It's like, hey, buddy, oh, it's okay, bro. You don't have it? Don't worry about it, boy. You can come in.
We're going to help you out. Come in for a tour. Destroy the world.
Yeah, go ahead. Make a Doomsday.
So we don't know why Lex Luthor hates Superman. It doesn't make any kind of sense. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason given. Well, if God can't destroy, if man can't destroy God, then the devil will.
Yep.
Why exactly? Okay, so then what's the failsafe to turn Doomsday off? Do we have a failsafe to turn Doomsday off? Because it doesn't seem like it. Like the devil is chaos.
I don't think he thought about that.
Let it go.
Like, I really
don't
don't think.
That doesn't make sense. Like, I'm so... And besides the fact that it wasn't Doomsday, it was the Abomination. I'm pointing that out. It's the Abomination from the Incredible Hulk movie.
He was. I hated the way they made him look. Hated it. That was probably my biggest pet peeve of the movie, and that's saying something. But one of the biggest pet peeves.
Yeah.
And I just want to bring something up. I don't know if you remember, there was a point when Lex was talking about when his dad used to beat him up, and he said there was never a god getting in the way of my dad's fist coming at me, or some. I don't remember the line word by word, and that translates later when Superman blocks the punch from Doomsday when Doomsday is about to kill Lex Luthor. So I think that was one of the few beautiful things about the movie, that irony, that symbolism, and I just wanted to bring that up before I forgot because I have chicken memory. But that did happen. I did enjoy, and it wasn't until like a month or two after that I read it somewhere, and I was like, wow, touche. But
so Doomsday tried to attack Luthor, and Superman blocked it.
And Superman blocked it. Remember that part?
I don't remember him actually trying to attack Luthor, but okay.
Okay, right after he's born or whatever.
I remember
basically Doomsday is gonna kill Lex. He's throwing a punch at him, and then Superman gets in the way and stops it. Otherwise, Lex would have died.
Okay, excellent. That is actually really good then. That's actually really good. Yeah, make no mistake, guys. The idea that we're ripping apart the bad parts of this movie, I want you to understand how this actually works. Okay, in life, when doctor says good news, I got good news and bad news. What do you want first? Yep. Everybody always says the bad news first. All right, I'm more than happy to get into the good news. The trick is we're going to get this stuff out of the way first. But yes, that's a scene I didn't even recognize. I wonder, like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here that I did like, but at one point, yeah, I did get to the point where I'm like, and this is towards the end of the movie, I'm just like, I just don't even like this movie anymore, or I couldn't even pay attention to anything anymore, you know?
Yeah.
I remember when I was watching the trailer of the movie, you know, when they were talking about all the trailers, which pretty much gave away the bulk of the entire movie. Like the scene where he's in South America and they're like on the Day of the Dead, it looked like the Day of the Dead, so I guess that's Mexico, when they've got the mask on, the paint, and they're like reaching out to touch him and things. I thought, that is such a beautiful scene. You know, I can't wait to see the context.
Symbolic.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the context of how they're going to get to that point. But when you actually saw the movie and they got to that point, it's like, okay, this made absolutely no sense. How they got to this point. It's made zero sense. So it's like, it's a beautiful scene that was pretty much wasted. Just it like, what was the point of it at that point?
Yeah.
What was the point of it?
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of the beauty of this movie was lost on me, on a lot of us, because so that, yeah, you know what? That actually does sound like a really excellent scene to pull off something like that. It would have did here. I don't remember it that well because I haven't watched this since it came out. But
no, I understand.
Yeah, did they actually switch to a shot of Luthor going like that and realizing?
Nope, no reaction.
So what a wonderful, literally, just what a wonderful FU to what could have been the most beautiful scene to really show that he got it.
Yeah, I think it would have been like maybe a couple like watery eyes or something, you know?
Yeah.
Even something like that would have been.
Yeah.
Matt 510 says, doesn't Lex supposed to have a 12th level intellect and there was no off switch on Doomsday? And yes, he's right. He didn't think that far ahead for a 1,000 IQ person. For the smartest person in the DC universe. Smarter than Superman, smarter than Batman, smarter than Mr. Terrific. I mean, yeah, that's smart. So, not that smart. But yeah, no realization, no epiphany moment for Lex. No, he just hated him more, I guess. He didn't care. So what a shame. What a shame. So then you get the actual fight, and you finally get to see Wonder Woman in action, which kind of saved the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, because everybody will say, okay, but you like, and we had in the comments. How many times do we have that in the comments alone? Oh, this movie sucked. This movie sucked. BvS sucked. Lost completely. I don't know if you can hear me, but I did not hear the past second that you said. Probably because I started like raising my voice, but I hear you just fine. You hear me? Lost you completely. Okay. If that's the case, Lewis, it's on your end. Anyway, so what do you call it? Yeah, I agree that the Wonder Woman scene was absolutely fantastic when she jumped in. It kind of did save anything to do with the movie. But here's the thing. The movie wasn't called B+S plus WW, right? The movie was called BvS, and that's the thing. Yeah. Lewis, I'm glad you can hear me. That's totally on your end because I hear you just fine. And I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Good. So, anyway, it was not supposed to be a Trinity movie. They did not call this a Trinity movie. So clearly they did too much inside the movie. You know, if they wanted to do an after credit scene, it only lasted like 10 minutes. Extended session, it's like 15. I think it was 7 minutes, and then it went to like 12 minutes. Thank you. Yeah, it was like don't get me horrible. The fight was fantastic, but like the whole purpose of like blah blah blah. Lewis. And then that's it. So the whole time waiting for Freddy versus Jason, and at the end you're there. So she should have been called Freddy, Jason, and I'm sorry for Lewis's voice being completely robotic. He sounds almost like Megatron. But I do understand Lewis's point that, it was a huge missed opportunity. That should have just been fixed from the very from the word get-go. That should have just been fixed. But I think that they try to do way too much. Batman had one incredible action scene that was actually in the movie. Batman's, that one scene that was in the movie where he, I'll go save Martha. Martha will not die tonight. You know what I'm saying? That was cute. I'm not even going to get to the whole, Martha, why'd you say that name? That was just, that was insane. But
the idea that he said, that he went to try and save Diane Lane, it means something. That was actually really cool. It was the one thing that he could have done, and it was the last thing that he did that was actually relevant in the movie. Because all he did afterwards was run away and make the stupidest suggestion ever in the Doomsday fight. We've got to get him back to Gotham, where that trident is. Here's an interesting idea. How about if you keep playing Getaway, and Superman, or let's say Wonder Woman, who's the most effective against this beast, keeps on fighting this thing. You guys just keep on playing Getaway from this thing. Let Superman use his super speed to fly back and get it. Or if it's going to hurt too much, let Wonder Woman fly back and get it. Okay? Like, why do you have to bring Doomsday all the way through from Metropolis back to freaking Gotham across the... Because if you guys don't know this, in the DC universe, Metropolis is in New York City. It's supposed to be like a Times Square kind of thing. Okay, Lewis is going to have to call me back. But Gotham City is actually in New Jersey. Let's do video. Boop.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
All right, sorry about that.
Sorry about that. So, yeah, I can actually hear you really well now. So,
all right, perfect. So, sorry, what I did was I changed from Xfinity Wi-Fi to my home connection, so
good.
It's a stronger connection now, so it should be better now.
Good. So you know what? That's kind of like a Lex Luthor moment. Why didn't you do it in the first place? Anyway, enough of that. So he decides to... So, again, guys... Gotham City is, even in the comic books, Gotham City is technically in New Jersey. It's across the bay. So the idea of bringing Doomsday from Metropolis all the way across the bay back in New Jersey, all that wake of destruction there when Superman or Wonder Woman could have just flown over there, picked the thing up, or Batman in the frickin' Batplane, whatever, and just gotten the darn thing, and then come back. I mean, come on. Wouldn't that have actually made this thing called sense? Wouldn't that have made sense? Because I think that would have made sense. That's just me. So
no, you're right. You're 100% right.
They decide to not allow it to make sense and go back. Wonder Woman could have, rammed the guy. They could have given Batman an actual scene that had matter, that had purpose and merit in the freaking movie, and had him deliver the killing blow. But no, Zack Snyder decided to have Henry Cavill, Superman, say, no, it's got to be me. For some stupid reason that you can make a reason for it, but when push comes to shove, I'm sorry, the whole Jesus martyr thing, that has been done so many times in movies that I think it needs to actually have a ban. Like it's that
just
bad.
Cut it out. Stop it.
It's just so bad. The whole Jesus martyr thing. We just don't need it anymore. Okay? Yes, we get it. I'm Superman. I'm Jesus. Like, just
you know what it is. Everybody wants to channel their inner C.S. Lewis. I think that's what it is. Everyone wants to have their own Narnia. I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
They want to have that comparison, but it doesn't work all the time. It really should stop.
Yeah. It happened before C.S. Lewis. Even you could talk about Dante's Inferno. You could talk about
that's true.
Many, you could talk about so many different books where the poor martyr. You know what I'm saying? And just, all the martyr stories of the saints and things like that. Like there's just too much, for crying out loud. Like at one point, doesn't it get old where people are just like, oh, cool, he's a Jesus martyr. Yeah, like come on, man, come on.
I know.
So. Yeah, it just didn't make sense. Guys, I'm going to point out Diane Keaton, who is one of the oldest, by saying old, I don't mean it that way, but one of the most beloved treasures in modern day movies right now. Like, she's been in a lot of movies. She's Academy Award winning. Like, she's amazing. Yeah, your connection's better, Lewis. So, she just recently had an interview. Okay, I didn't plan for this. I just saw this thing last night, all right? Where she says she's on a talk show with Sheldon, the guy who plays Sheldon from Big Bang Theory, and says, I was hoping he was going to call back. Somebody calls up and asks her, hey, is Justice League going to be better than the Avengers? And she says no. She says, short and sweet, but honest. It's not going to be better than the Avengers. So, yeah, you could try and say it's going to be as good as the Avengers, whatever, but, like, this is Diane Keaton. She's making a movie, and she's not particularly happy with it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why they're standing behind Zack Snyder so much with this movie. It's actually kind of killing me a little bit because here's the thing about it. Batman versus Superman was a moment that has happened several times in comics, but none of them have ever been as loved, as beloved as... I'm going to have to turn on the chat again, guys, because since Lewis is gone, what do you call it? So, it's never been as beloved as the first time that it happened, and that's, for me, that's a pretty important thing. If you're not gonna do it right, why do it at all? You know what I'm saying? So the idea that they've got, Batman versus Superman, from The Dark Knight Returns, and they're not going to do it the right way. That, for me, if you're not going to do it right, why do it at all? You know what I'm saying? Let me turn that off right now so that we don't have to hear me double in my ears. The idea that we can't ever see that again now. You can never do a really awesome scene twice. Well, if you're going to credit a good part, Devontae says, you're jumping to the credits scene thanking the VFX crew. That's actually a good point. Oh, and Lewis is back. What's up, Lou anyway?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right.
Stop hanging up.
Okay. No, that was my bad.
Of course, it's your bad.
I'm working with the computer, so I was trying to do a different connection for the laptop.
It's okay.
So I have fully connection on the phone, but I'm sorry, guys. I'm back. Sorry. Okay. I love you. Let's go.
Okay, thank you for making that take a half an hour. I'm joking. Anyway, seriously, it's like, I'm back, let's continue. We're good. So if it happens again, literally, I'm back. Hi. So I was talking about, Diane Lane just did an interview. I only just saw it last night, where she was asked on the phone, is Justice League going to be as good as the Avengers? And she says no. She says, short and sweet, no. Straight to the truth. And yeah, Academy Award-winning actor. She's amazing, and she just says no. So I wonder why they're doing this whole Zack Snyder thing. I wonder why they're focusing so hard on, ooh, Zack Snyder, man, Zack Snyder. I don't see it. I don't understand it. I don't see the purpose of it. Hey, can anybody still see my... Oh, shoot. Did I cut...
What happened?
I cut the video, actually. Hey, guys, am I back? I hope I'm back. I think I actually just cut the entire video. Sorry about that. I pushed stop on the master control for the video. Shoot, I wonder if I actually just lost everybody. Only 4 people watching now. Oh, shoot. I think they thought that I actually ended it. That sucks.
I can see you on YouTube.
Okay, good. Let's see if it actually cut or not. Anyway, what do you call it? Okay, so just, you know what, moving on. This either works or it doesn't. So here's the thing. Yeah, there's just too many plot holes in this. Like, we don't know how Lex Luthor, like, here, was Batman actually working in tandem with Lex Luthor? How did each other know that they were going to try and start a fight with each other, right? Yep. Like when Batman's signal goes up at the exact moment that Lex Luthor, says, okay, well, your mother's going to die unless you go and fight man. Say, like, how did he know that was going to happen? Coincidence? Yeah. Say, like, oh, they must have been working in tandem with each other. This must have been a conjointed effort. It's just, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make any kind of sense to me. So, yeah, I'm just really upset with the whole process. Like, from the beginning to the end, this movie had some good points, but good parts, but there were too many holes that just didn't make sense. And then at the end, especially in the extended edition, when he goes and he sees Steppenwolf, and he's like, okay, well, let's try this way instead. Like, why?
Hey, Professor Bill. Professor Bill.
What?
Martha.
I'll be Martha. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just really upset with the whole thing, and I think that it was a huge wasted opportunity. Like, that's the thing. Here's a question. Do you think that Zack Snyder, and I asked you this question before, do you think that Zack Snyder respects the fans?
I don't think so. I think he respects his wallet.
I think he respects his wallet. I think he has too much faith in his own creative genius, as he's going to say. Like, some people are there are people, like, people who are in politics. I don't want to go any further than that. Please don't. But people who are in politics today who think that they are so smart, but the rest of us look at them and we're just like, you are a damned idiot. You are so stupid. Yep. Why do you think that we would... Why do you think that we would want something like that? Like, here, if everybody voted for this, but you want to do that instead, who exactly are you listening to? You think that you know better than us? Like, I don't get that. I don't understand people sometimes. Why, if we're all saying, like, we're the comic book fans, we are your audience. You clearly didn't make this for people who aren't fans of Batman vs. Superman. If you made this movie... Why did you make this movie for someone other than the fans? Why did you make this specifically for yourself? Do you really think that you're that damn brilliant? Because you're not. And this movie proves it. Like, this movie was pretty much it for me. What do you call it? Let's see. Do you think that that Zack Snyder respects the comic books?
The question is, has Zack Snyder read a comic book? I think that would be the better question here.
That's a really good one.
I mean, not to sound mean or anything, but the problem, before we started, we talked a little about Watchmen, remember?
Yes.
And the whole thing, how he changed everything from the graphic novel. It wasn't a respectable representation of it. Mm-hmm. So, did he read Watchmen before he did it? Probably not. He browsed through it, or he Wikipedia it. Who knows? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just being a huge a-hole here, and he actually does research. But does he respect it to the extent of making them and adapting them in a way that satisfies the viewer? No, he does not.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of kills me. Like, just a little bit inside, it kills me. So,
100%.
Here's the thing.
When have you addressed the comments at any point soon? Because I see there's some in here,
yes.
But I haven't.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually why the video stopped and then restarted again. Here's the thing. Question: with the death and rebirth of Superman, was like they killed Superman for an entire year.
Yep.
Right? He was dead for an entire year. We had 4 imposter Superman characters showing up, main ones. You actually believe that Superman was dead, all that good stuff. In the end, you see of this movie, you see the dirt coming up, rising up. He's doing his anti-gravity, he's about to fly thing, burst out the coffin. Yep. Can we ever see this in the movies again? Can we ever see the death of Superman again in a movie?
I don't know if with the same characters, if you want to put it that way, with the same actors, because I think, here's the thing, I don't know if you saw DC. DC is usually known for their animated movies. They do a good job with the animated movies.
And the first really big one that they did was...
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know exactly where I'm going.
The death of Superman.
And exactly. It was called Superman Doomsday.
Superman
they didn't
Doomsday.
even call it Death of Superman.
Yes.
And I did not like it. It was very bad. They did not make it the same way as it was in the comic books at all.
Are you talking about the one that had Batman and Wonder Woman in it?
No, this was just Superman and Doomsday. You're thinking of maybe the Justice League episode when Doomsday showed up, but it's one called Superman Doomsday. Look it up. It's only Lois, Jimmy, Superman.
Yes,
Doomsday,
I remember
Lex
that one.
Luthor.
It just had it was just the black image with the Superman and bleeding symbol on it. Yeah, that was called Superman Doomsday.
That's the
I'm
one.
trying to wonder what was the one that had the Trinity in it and Supergirl. What was that one called?
With Superman dying?
No. Don't even go there. I'm talking about the one where Superman, where Supergirl comes down for the first time. And
Apocalypse. That's Superman.
Okay, there we go. Okay, that's my mistake. Okay, so yes, you're right then. Superman Doomsday. Thank you. So Superman Doomsday. That's. Hold on a second. Oh, it says that we're live still. Okay.
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, we are. Okay, good. Okay, never mind. Anyway, so. Yeah, there you have it. You didn't like that at all. That's funny. I didn't dislike it. I didn't dislike it. I thought that it handled the death of Superman a lot better than this did.
Oh, yeah, that we can agree on. That I agree with you 100%. But I think you can agree with me in the following statement. The Death of Superman should be a movie of its own.
Yes.
It shouldn't have been involved in BvS.
Yeah,
I think that's what it comes down to.
I don't think it should have had a Justice League title attached to it. I don't think it should have been in Batman vs Superman.
Nope.
Any of that stuff. Like, look, they didn't have to make Batman vs Superman and just make it an exact replica of the comic book. They didn't have to do that at all. They could have gone with just some of those plots. They didn't have to add in, Darkseid is coming. They didn't have to add in the Justice League, with the Flash showing up and you've got to reform the team. They didn't have to have, the Cyborg thing, and they didn't have to have the Aquaman thing in there. We didn't need any of that stuff.
Oh boy, don't even get me started on that dream sequence with the Flash. What the hell was that? That Speed Force, was that? Who knows?
First off, that was the waking dream. You know what I'm saying? He already had the dream where he's sitting there shooting people up, like literally he's sitting there with the guns and all that, killing people in the freaking thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, with all the parademons and all that stuff. Dude, that was cool. Exactly. How did that further the plot of this movie?
What are your thoughts on what that was? Was that the Speed Force? Was that just time traveling?
I don't know what the hell it was. It was Zack Snyder Force.
Touche.
That was the Snyder Force, man. Like, that didn't have anything to do with anything. It kind of killed me just a little bit inside, man, because, like, it could have been so much better. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? But, nope. Instead, we have this nonsense. So, they're squashing many plot points from the main comics, this is Matt 510, into one film rather than exploring each one of them individually, which, yes, you're right. Guys, there are so many incredible stories here that we will never get to see now. I'm not saying never, but look, we waited all this time to see a movie, and I know long before they ever announced that they were going to do a new Superman movie or whatever, we're always like, oh man, wouldn't it be cool to see a Batman versus Superman? Ever since the 80s, right?
I know.
Wouldn't it be great to see something like that? Like, they'll never be able to do it. No, it'll never be able to happen.
I remember the video when they announced it, remember? They had the line, he's like, I want you to remember through the years, my hand around your neck, that I beat you. I remember watching that video, and I almost fainted. I was like, oh my God, it's happening.
That was taken pretty much directly out of the comic book.
Out of the comic book, yes.
Which was just, oh my God.
I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it.
You're not the only one. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, and I love that. That's what I love about being a geek, being a nerd. You get back and you're like, oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And then when you finally see, and I think that is what made this even worse. The fact that you got so amped for it. You got so thrilled, so amazingly happy for it.
Yeah.
The marketing campaign for it was, okay, this is happening. It's going to be good. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. And then once you get it, you're like, my dear God, you just ruined my childhood.
No, here's the thing. I don't think that my childhood was ruined. My childhood's still there. I can go back and read those comic books again. But I literally look at it as, they finally got a really good Henry Cavill to play in a really good movie with a really good costume. You know what I'm saying? They got a good Superman. Like, they got, he cares. Remember he was walking around and taking Instagram pictures of himself, with the glasses on. It's like, look, nobody recognizes me. Doing the whole Superman, Clark Kent thing. Like, it works. It actually does work.
He walked in New York City, remember? He was like walking around New York City with a Superman shirt.
Pull the shirt out. Nobody got it. Like, that was just beautiful, man. But, like, that's the thing. Like, and you've got, you're going to... Are you falling down the stairs? Lois, dude. But they've got like all these amazing, people who want to be in this movie, who want to do these amazing things. Guys, they can never remake with these actors again in this universe. They can never remake that Death of Superman scene. They can never redo the Rebirth of Superman scene. Like, not really. You know what I'm saying? Because you already know all this stuff. Like, here's the thing. Lewis, did you ever read The Death of Captain America?
I have not, unfortunately, and I know I suck for that. I've held it in my hands. I want to get the whole trade paper bag. It's like $30. I almost got it at a free comic book day, but I didn't. But I do want to read it. It's the aftermath I have read the Aftermath.
Okay.
I have the Aftermath issues, but I have not read the actual Death, and
Okay.
I'm so upset at myself for that.
Relax. Try and consider getting the entire Brubaker run, at the very least the first 25 issues, okay?
Okay.
Because, they re-explain a lot of things in there. Ed Brubaker did an amazing job. He will forever be a comic book legend for this run that he did. But the thing is, like, you got 14 movies, or more than 14 movies out now, with, Doctor Strange and all that stuff. But with the Avengers Infinity War coming up, you now have a full-on decade of Marvel Cinematic Universe movies coming out.
Yep,
okay?
That's true.
And they're going to celebrate it there. Now, we expected that in Captain America Civil War. I did. I thought they're going to kill Captain America in this one.
Yeah.
And you can either go with Bucky picking up the shield, or you can go with Sam Wilson, Falcon, picking up the shield, because both have wielded the shield, in the past. And for me, like, I don't want Captain America to die because he's my favorite character, but at the same time, I want to see it. Because I know that most of the world doesn't read the comic books, and most of the world isn't going to go out and read that comic book, issue number 25 of the Ed Brubaker run of Captain America, where Captain America actually does die. He gets assassinated, still trying to save one of the people who saves him, and what do you call it, Matt? I'm going to get to that in a moment. And he dies, and like the damned heartbreak that you feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I'm a 6'5" tall guy who's been in the martial arts since I was 8. I'm a 6-year military veteran. You know what I'm saying? And a badass pretty much my entire life. All right. I'm the guy who I didn't wear comic book T-shirts. You know what I'm saying? When I was in school, because when I went through high school, no, you don't do stuff like that. But like, people knew I read comic books, and as long as I kept it on the aside, nobody made fun of me, nobody did anything like that, because they knew Bill knows how to fight. Bill's a cool guy, Bill's a tough guy, Bill's, whatever. But the reason why I'm saying all that stuff is because I still cried when I read The Death of Captain America. Because when you read the Civil War, and then you read The Death of Captain America, if you also saw all of that, and the final things that he said, and the legacy, and the speech that Sam Wilson gave after the fact, and even Iron Man, who was his best friend turned jackass, turned a bitter enemy, like how he responded to it, and everything that went on with it, and you just like, it's one of those things where you, just like with Superman, is the exact same thing with Captain America. You don't know how amazing Superman or Captain America are until they've died.
Until they're gone. Mm-hmm.
You can't appreciate it until they're gone. It's like with your parents. If anybody out there has a parent who died, you know what I'm saying? You loved them, of course you did, after the fact, even if they're still alive. Oh, I love my mom, I love my mom, I love my mom. But after your parent is gone, it'll be one of those kind of things where it's like, holy crap, I didn't do enough. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And this is, yes, I'm going to put this on, for these two characters, I'm going to put this in the exact same field as that, because if you grew up, like when Wolverine died, wow, that sucks, Wolverine died, you know what I'm saying? When Spider-Man died in the Ultimate Universe, man, that really sucked, you know what I'm saying? Like, he died, and yeah, I was really teared up for that one also, because of the way he died, you know what I'm saying? All of that, like, it was amazing, but these two characters, they're the pinnacle of what each comic book company represents, of what we as individuals represent. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Superman is that Jesus figure, we know, who, Zack Snyder, we don't need you to tell us, he is that messianic figure that,
ultimate immigrant.
Oh my God, yes, the ultimate immigrant. No, more than the ultimate immigrant. More than the ultimate immigrant. True. He really is that godlike figure that we can never aspire to be him. You know what I'm saying? Superman has never had a sidekick, because how the hell are you going to have a sidekick for Superman? You know what I'm saying? What, Crypto the Super Dog? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the best that you could get. You know what I'm saying? Captain America has had a sidekick. He's had a couple sidekicks because we can aspire to be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But we can still, but Superman represents what we could ultimately never be, but we can still try to emulate. And Captain America represents the exact same thing, but he as himself is essentially attainable. He's the peak human. We'll never be able to be peak human. Don't tell me about Batman. You know what I'm saying? But Like, he is the peak of what we could be in every regard. We could be, his indomitable will. You know what I'm saying? No one's ever broken Captain America before. No one's ever made him do something he didn't want to do before. You know what I'm saying? Anything along those lines. Secret Empire is a little bit different. And we don't have the full explanation of that yet. But, like, so when Captain America died, it was literally a thing like, the moral fabric of the entire Marvel Universe is officially gone.
Yeah.
We didn't have a moral fabric for the DCEU. You know what I'm saying? The Marvel Cinematic Universe, guys, you could love Robert Downey Jr. and still read or still watch the Marvel Cinematic Universe and be like, oh, Captain, what do you call it? Iron Man is awesome and he's cool and yeah, superheroes do need to calm down. You really examine that movie or all those movies in any way, shape, or form. Every single thing that went wrong in those movies, Tony Stark was behind him. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Captain America, he's all with his highfalutin thing in Winter Soldier. The biggest problem with the that happened in that movie were those three helicarriers. Who designed those helicarriers? That was Tony Stark.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. Ultron, that was him. You know what I'm saying? The whole, what do you call it? Like, everything that happened, everything that went wrong. Look, the Mandarin...
It's all his ego.
Right.
It's all his ego.
Yeah, the Mandarin showing up and starting all that problem and the extremists and all that stuff. He was a dick to the guy in the elevator. Like...
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All the weapons, the Mandarin, getting a hold of the Jericho problem. It's because he's a jackass and he's an arms dealer. He's a war profiteer. Iron Man, look, Robert Downey Jr. is an amazing actor, and he plays Iron Man better than anybody else, but Iron Man, Tony Stark, as himself, in the comics and the movies, he's a piece of garbage.
He is.
Right? Like, he's absolutely right. He's the guy who you're not supposed to like. You like him anyway, but you're not supposed to, because he's the worst in humanity. You know what I'm saying? And Captain America is the little guy.
I call that the Walter White effect.
Right? Yeah, exactly. You're not supposed to be rooting for Walter White, but you do because you get it. But Walter White was at least stepped on. When the hell has Tony Stark ever had something bad? And at the end of the day, he really is just a little baby. He really is just a little baby.
That's why I love when Thor beats the crap out of him and he tells him, "I want you to remember."
You remember? I showed you that scene, didn't I?
Man, you showed me it, and then I read it.
Yeah.
That you are a man in a metal suit.
Yeah, I think that was Volume 3 of Thor. Yeah, Volume 3 of Thor, issue number 3. He says, if you ever come, or you or your people ever come back here again, I will teach you the difference between a god and a man in a steel suit.
And a man in a metal suit.
Yep.
Because that was after he cloned him for Civil War, remember?
Yes.
He made the fake, So he was pissed.
Without his permission. Yes, exactly. Because Tony Stark does whatever Tony Stark wants to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Tony Stark
is
so
the funny because the whole time he's so cocky in that fight. He's like, I don't want to have to teach you a
lesson.
lesson.
He started the fight.
And Thor's like, hello.
Thor tried to walk away.
Oh, man.
Oh, you gotten a little tougher since then, huh, Goldilocks? No, I'm just not holding back right now.
But yeah, I mean, as a closing statement, what I would like to say, Professor Bill, you let me, is that, and it's actually something that Matt mentioned in the comments, that, you have kids already. Someday I'm going to have kids. And hopefully they'll like comic books, And when I show them the Death of Superman comic books, the trades, they're going to read everything. And then they're going to ask, was there ever a movie made for this? I'm going to be like,
nope.
Not really. Yeah. But I do like to install all those values, when I do have my kids and those, read a comic, And I think for everybody watching also, if you guys just watch the movies or something like that, pick up a trade. Go to your local comic book store. Support the art of fine paper.
Yeah.
Books, comic books, everything. It's a wonderful world. It really is.
You go to a comic book store, you're supporting your comic book store and you're supporting the comics themselves. If you at the very least get one of the writers,
apps. The creators.
Exactly. If you at the very least get the app and then, download the comics, at the very least do that. You know what I'm saying? But the stories in the comics, it's literally like, you go and watch the movie for whatever and you're like, the book was better. Yeah.
Yep.
In the comic book movies, the books are better also.
They're better.
Yeah, they're so much better because they're just felt out and everything. So that is a really good closing statement. I know that you have to leave. I don't know that I'm ready to leave right now, but yeah, I guess I will anyway.
You can keep it going if you want. Just special guest goes bye-bye right now, but that's all.
Yeah, you got to go and get your comic book stuff.
If I do get my tickets, I will comment below.
Nice.
Yeah, but I personally want to thank everybody for watching. And Professor Bill and I are working on a project that's coming out relatively soon, which is the top 10 Marvel characters. Is that right, Professor Bill? We're working on that. We worked on the list together, and that's going to be up soon. And I would love if everybody supports us by watching that. It should be up hopefully in the next couple weeks.
On your channel.
Depends on how. On my channel, correct. And that's the Geek Fortress, guys. Just follow the link below in Professor Bill's description. I do a little bit of everything: unboxings, playthroughs. I'm doing Outlast 2 right now. I changed my pants 5 times while playing that.
You're a funny guy. I actually really like watching your live plays. I wish you would do a couple more because, Lewis changes up a lot. He's not one person the entire time that he's playing these games.
No, I'm not. I'm really not. And I could be brave one second, the next day I'm a pansy. So it is what it is. But yeah, guys, I mean, thank you for all the support. Thank you for supporting Comics University, for supporting the Geek Fortress. Really appreciate that. And we
over on Facebook also, where both of us are extremely active.
Yep.
And there are others also.
My phone, even at work, I get a notification from the Geek Fortress, and I'm like, like a little girl. So I enjoy being in touch with everybody, guys. And you can follow us on social media too. But that's it. That's all I got. Anything you would like to add, Professor Bill?
No, just you'll actually see more than just you and me over there. You'll see the Humble Bumble over there. There are a bunch of content creators over there. There are a lot of us.
Humble Bumble, great creator. I spoke to him. He's an amazing guy. He's really awesome. And
John Ramos is over there. John Ramos needs to make a couple of. He needs to put a lot more out there with what he does.
He does animation with toys. I actually met him recently. I saw him at a comic book store. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Hey, man, I have to get a picture with you." And I was like, "Of course!"
Yeah, I remember that on Free Comic Book Day. That was in Midtown?
Yeah. No, that was actually, remember Amazing Stories?
Oh, right over there. All right, cool.
Yeah, dude. Well, now they changed the name. Now it's called The Comic Crypt. It's not Amazing Stories anymore because they had some issues with, like, the copyright of the name.
I always wondered if they were going to have a issue with that. Okay, well, cool, whatever.
So they did. They ended up having it. But no, we met up, and then it was awesome. And if you guys see me out there, Professor Bill, come say hi. We love you.
Absolutely. All right, Lewis, go do your thing, man.
All right, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me, dude.
All right.
I really appreciate we have to do more like these.
Yes.
And when the tide brings you back to the States, we're doing a live one.
I'm hoping in July by the latest. By the latest.
Awesome. Well, you know where to find me. I mean, not really, but I'll give you my address then.
Yeah. Oh, no, I have your address, Knucklehead.
Oh, you do? That's right. And I have yours.
All right, later, man.
All right, man. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. Stay awesome. Geek on. Take care, guys.
All right, now this guy's finally gone. No, I'm joking. Seriously, Geek Fortress on Facebook, at the very least below. We've got more than 1,000 members, and we've got a lot of great content creators over there. I am hoping to see a lot more people actually start some content over there. There's some really brilliant people there. Forget about it. I think you guys will enjoy it. Don't forget to check out Nerdicy also. I know that I don't, I mention them all the time, but there's a reason for it. Nerdicy is some really good stuff. If you like anything Dungeons & Dragons related, go check those guys out. As far as me, I'm doing all my typical stuff, and go and check out my Dr. Poison video. You'll remember this image from the Wonder Woman movie, yes, with the gas mask. But what do you call it? We're doing a lot over here. We're trying to do a whole lot more, guys. As far as this movie is concerned, I thought that it was fantastic in the concept, but took on just a little bit too much at one time. It was just a little bit too much, and it really didn't need to go on for as long as it did. Probably a lot like this podcast if we didn't have so many issues. This is the longest podcast I have, so I'm glad I don't have to actually upload this. This would have taken about 2 days to upload. Dear God. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know if they'll ever be able to give us a new Death of Superman, a new Rebirth of Superman, a new Batman vs. Superman, a new introduction to Wonder Woman, which wasn't as good as it could have been. I'm already not feeling good about Justice League, sorry, because when push comes to shove, I saw him surfing on that car, Aquaman, and I'm not happy seeing that. When he comes off like, hey, he said something like hang 10 or whatever he said. He does the little symbol and he's acting like Keanu Reeves. Dude, I asked for Jason Momoa to be Aquaman, not Keanu Reeves. So Keanu Reeves is a great actor. He's a great actor for what he does. He's great, but this looks like Point Break, or Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. So I don't want to see that. That's not what I'm interested in seeing. All the problems that they're having in these movies and whatnot behind the scenes, they are having a lot of problems with all the only movie that they said they didn't have a problem with so far is Aquaman, So they need to get things together, and I think that they really need to take their faith out of their golden god named Zack Snyder, because I do not think that he's doing anything good for them. Personal opinion. Anyway, guys, I'm going to cut this off at a wrap about an hour and 56 minutes into it. Guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe below. Tuition to Comic Book University is free. All right? Tuition free. The only university that is truly tuition free. Anyway, class dismissed.